Hello everybody, Matthew Armstrong here on day 18 of our 90-day transformation program from mediocrity to mastery. How awesome is that? Mediocrity to mastery. Just got inspired to do this, and now we're well on the way, day 18. You know, when you take action, stuff happens. You just got to take action. You just got to take action, get out of your comfort zone, and keep taking the action, right? It's a huge thing of stepping outside your comfort zone. If you take actions that are within your comfort zone, no growth happens, right? No growth happens, frustration happens, and we don't grow, we don't achieve our goal, things like that. All our goals, everything we want in life can be found outside of our comfort zones on that border of chaos and order, right? And so you just gotta have a bit of courage, because you know, once you get out there, it's not as bad as you think. You know, it's not as scary as you think once you get out there. When you're looking at the dark wood from the outside, you think, God, that looks scary, right? You don't want to step into that dark wood, but as soon as you step into the dark wood, there's something you can actually see around yourself. You know, it's just the contrast where you're outside and there's brightness, and you're just looking at this dark wood. But step inside the dark wood in the daytime, and something you can see, and you're like, okay, it's not so bad in here. You know, our fears are more often than not illusions, right? Just illusions. So break through them, walk through them, whatever. They're just set up to to give you something to challenge you to move to the next level. So have faith that, you know, the thing that you're scared to do, you want to get to the next level, but there's something that you know that you wish you want to do, but you know, you're maybe denying and think, well, I don't want to do that because it's scary. That's the thing you need to do. That's the thing that's going to do it for you. That's the thing that's going to allow you to break through to the next level. Whatever it is in your business. If it's maybe starting a YouTube channel, starting videos, starting a blog, maybe it's you know, buying some products, you know. Maybe it's getting a partnership, getting some joint ventures. Maybe it's contacting some people to work with. I don't know what it is for you. Maybe it's you're going through some sort of health challenge, and maybe you need to go and seek out some sort of health practitioner of some sort. You know, when I was today, I was at my chiropractor, and I'm feeling incredibly straight and clear, because I got 2 neck adjustments and a mid-back adjustment for my chiropractor today, and it always makes me feel better. And I suddenly feel more aligned and more clear, more clarity, more energy is flowing. Very important. The alignment of our spine is very important, and also the alignment of our mind. You know, having our values aligned, having our spine aligned. All these things kind of come together. You know, I only started getting into chiropractic and osteopathy and things like that whenever. 2000, the year 2000, year 2001 maybe? 2001? Yeah, 2001, in a martial arts battle, well, it wasn't really a battle. Through doing martial arts, I was hit in the back of the neck with a strike. And while I didn't know what was happening, I was falling backwards when I got hit. And it created like a whiplash effect because I wasn't expecting it. And my whole body like whiplashed, and my neck seized up later that day. I didn't realize it at the time. Later that day, my whole neck seized up, and I went through years of pain and agony with it, with this restriction in my neck. And I went to numerous different health practitioners to get it adjusted, to get relief, to get massage, to get anything at all to start to free that up. And because of it, it set me on a journey, you know, it set me on a journey. So I don't think it was a bad thing that happened or anything like that, because I went on a journey of learning and discovery about it. You know, I want to align my spine. You know, I don't want this huge subluxation in my neck. And so yeah, I've been to many different practitioners to get relief and to get it aligned, and now I get regular chiropractic, which I find really helps. And now actually my neck is better than it's ever been, because I get regular chiropractic every week, you know, pretty much. And so yeah, you know, whenever you have some sort of misfortune or anything like that, you know, see how there's a benefit in it, you know. And quite often our voids, they create our values, as we've been learning in this program. And so whenever you have a void in your life, my void was not my spine wasn't in good shape. You know, that was a void. So then I went to get my spine in good shape, and my spine is in excellent shape, and I'm very aligned. And when my chiropractor looks at me, he says, "Wow, you're like there's less than 1% of people that come to me that are as aligned and as you are." He does all these different muscle tests and everything to find that out. And so you know, that's come through my putting a huge emphasis into my posture, into having good alignment, into having good structural alignment over the years, doing lots of yoga and things like that. To now I go to my chiropractor and he's like, "This is just perfect," you know. He still adjusts me. Obviously, it's not perfect. You know, we always will need tweaks here and there. And when I do get adjustments, I still feel the benefit from it. But yeah, that's sent me on a journey. So whenever you have a challenge, whenever you have a void, look to how you can create a value out of it. Yeah, great stuff. And it's really interesting, you know. Again this evening, I just sat down and it's actually clicking play on the live broadcast to start the hangout. Before that, my mind is just, I don't know what I'm going to say, you know. And then I just hit play, and I just start talking. And this is what I'm talking about: putting yourself on the line. Put yourself outside your comfort zone, because when you're inside your comfort zone, you don't feel like you have the resources, because your unconscious mind isn't giving you the resources because it knows you don't need them right there and then. It's whenever you step outside your comfort zone, there's that little bit of stress where you have to make a quick decision, and you tend to bypass the conscious mind. Then your unconscious mind takes over, and stuff happens. So when you're inside your comfort zone, you don't think you can do something, but that's because you don't know. You don't know what your unconscious mind knows. You don't know what the resources you actually have available. And the resources you have available are actually much more than you think. Up to 33,000 times more than you can think. Because it is said that your unconscious mind is 33,000 times more powerful than your conscious mind. So really, you have no idea what you're capable of. No idea. But once you step outside your comfort zone, then you start to get a better idea, right? So for me, I'm sitting there going, I have no idea what I'm going to say in this hangout. Then a voice says, "Matthew, just hit play. Just hit play." So I just hit play, and as soon as I hit play, I stepped outside my comfort zone. And then it just comes to me, right? But at the same time, it's important to prepare. It's important to prepare, right? And if I did this, let's say 15 years ago, I wouldn't have been able to deliver as much value as I can now. Because 15 years ago, I hadn't really read many books on anything that was really that helpful, you know, or stuff like that, basically. The same in martial arts. Sometimes I just cannot think of what technique to do. So I'm teaching a class, and no idea what technique to do, so I say, okay, throw 2 punches at me. Throw a punch and a kick at me. Grab me. I have no idea what I'm going to do, but as soon as that happens, my unconscious mind takes over. Because I put myself out of my comfort zone, I have to make a decision, there's no choice. When you have to make a decision and there's no choice, then you make that decision, you do whatever it takes. Your unconscious mind takes over and it just starts operating, right? And so then when those 2 punches come flying, I move and something happens. But if I'd never done any martial arts training in my life, those 2 punches might come and I might not move so well. I might get hit, I might freeze. So preparation and training in life is really important, because what we practice in private, we get rewarded for in public. So through the training, I'm able to stand out there and say, throw whatever you want at me, attack me any way you want, and I can handle it. The same way now, I'm at a point where I can, just come in from the beach and sit down and just hit broadcast and just start talking and know that I'm actually going to be able to deliver some value. You're going to come on this call, and at the end of it, you're going to be glad that you did. Your life is going to be better that you did. You're going to feel more inspired because of it. You're going to have more light in your life because of it. And I'm confident of that. I'm certain of that. Because I've prepared in the past, I've trained, I've put so much good stuff in that when I open my mouth, good stuff has to come out. It just has to, right? The only thing I remember from doing computers in school, which was back in the early 90s, was garbage in, garbage out. That's the only thing I remember, sitting on those big BBC computers and thinking computers was the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life, and I had no interest in it whatsoever. And because I had to sit in this computer class for 2 hours a week, it was just ridiculous to me, And now I'm talking to you through a computer, and it's how I deliver my message and do the work that I do is through the computer. But yeah, the only thing I remember is garbage in, garbage out. So if you're putting a whole lot of garbage into yourself, that's garbage is going to come out, right? If you're sitting in front of the TV 4 hours a night watching garbage, which many people are, right? If you walk up any street in, I'm not so sure about here, in Spain where I live, because it's kind of like a different lifestyle here. But in the UK, I know for sure, you walk into any sort of housing development, you walk up the street in the evening, and all you see is the light of a TV out of everyone's living room window, pretty much everyone, not everyone obviously, but pretty much. It's just everyone's kind of glued to the box. And the next day you can say to someone, talk about the favorite soap opera, and you can say, hey, did anyone see such and such last night? And about 5 people around you, you walk into the post office and say it, about 5 people put their hand up and say they watched it. But it's all garbage, right? And all they can really share with you and deliver is oh yeah, I watched it, and then such and such got married, and then they had an affair, and then this guy's going to kill him, and all this stuff's happening about the drama on TV, right? So it's garbage in, garbage out. But when you put good stuff in, good stuff tends to come out, or it starts to after a while. Yeah. So that's what I did. I put a lot of good stuff in. I read a lot of books, I listened to a lot of audios, I watched videos, I watched interviews of people who are outstanding. Right? I don't read Mills and Boon's books or trashy novels and things like that. I read good information, inspiring stuff, educational stuff, the stuff you don't learn in school. Right? Somebody asked me today, said, I've never actually looked at your stuff. What is it you actually do? What do you provide? And I said, well, I teach the important stuff that you don't learn in school. And it's as simple as that. The stuff that you don't, the important stuff in life, this is the important stuff in life that you don't learn in school, right? And that's what I pretty much teach. I teach about health, I teach about wellness, about even like relationships, human behavior, psychology, discovering more about yourself, universal laws, finances, how to create your dream life. No, there isn't a class in school where you go to and says, okay, what do you got now? Oh, I've got how to create your dream life class. Oh, great, that's a brilliant class. Yeah, every Friday afternoon, how to create your dream life class. Imagine that happened. You go into class and you have this how to create your dream life class, and sit down and the teacher just says, look, you kids are amazing. You can do whatever you want in life. Just dream big and do it. Today we're going to do vision boards. Okay, here's the magazines. Everybody make the vision boards. You're going to create your destiny how you want it, what's important to you in life. Let's find out what your values are. Let's make an action plan and see how that doesn't happen. No, that doesn't happen. What they do is they come up to you and they put you in these boxes. And they say, okay, because you're good at this, you're good at the CDT, the craft design technology, but you're not good at sciences or math or English. So okay, so you can be a plumber or a mechanic maybe, or something like that, right? And then so the people who do like maths and sciences and stuff like that, they say, okay, you can be a doctor. You can go and be a doctor if you want. And some people fit into those boxes very well, and that's fine for them. But not everybody fits into those boxes. So that's why the educational indoctrinational system that they have isn't for everyone, for sure. And so what I do is it wasn't for me, So I teach the stuff that's important in life, incredibly important, that you don't learn in school. And that's what this is. That's what this, everything is that I do. This channel, everything I think. It's just the important stuff in life that you don't learn in school. I took it upon myself to educate myself, to learn it myself, to empower myself on the stuff that I saw that this is really important stuff, right? And this is stuff, empowerment. Empowerment is important, right? Because when you're empowered, then you act, right? There's no empowerment class. Oh, what have you got this afternoon, Thursday afternoon, after lunch? Oh, I've got an empowerment class. Well, we'll learn how to be empowered and make decisions and act on our courage and to break through fears. Oh yeah, I'm going to break through fear class now. Don't get those in school, do you? Like how amazing would that be? How to break through your fear class, where everyone just goes and say, okay, what are your fears? Look at these fears, break through them. No way, that create a race of super humans, and we don't want that now, do we? We want to keep everyone down, we want to keep everyone suppressed, we want to keep everyone controlled. Watch your TV. Keep watching the TV. Read the newspapers. Watch Sky News. Watch CNN. Watch Fox News. Read the newspapers. Watch the sitcoms. Eat McDonald's. Then the adverts come up and all the fast food and stuff like that. Then the ab blaster, and you buy the ab blaster, and you still don't have abs because ab blasters don't work. So that's the reality of it, right? That's the reality of it. Don't want to come across as too cynical or anything, but I'm just talking about the reality, right? So let's move forward with what we're sort of I suppose the core of what we're doing in these 90 days is we're following the teachings of Dr. John Demartini, the book, The Values Factor. You can go to drdemartini.com to find out more about him and his work. Someone who I've learned a great deal from. And you can go to Amazon as well to buy the book. And you need the book. This is the first live training you're watching with me. We're doing exercises from the book. We're reading directly from the book as well, about 6 pages a day. And we're going through the book very sort of like that, doing the exercises as we go. So you need the book to do the exercise. You need the book to read along. You just need the book, right? If you have one book in your bookshelf, this is the book. But don't have it in your bookshelf. Make sure you're reading it every day. And so that's what we're doing. So let's carry on with what we're doing. So we're on page 117. And by the way, if this is the first training you're watching, make sure after you complete watching this that you go back and watch day 1 on my YouTube channel, Be Your Potential, and watch them all sequentially and then catch up at some stage, right? You might be watching this in 10 years from now, maybe 100 years from now. I don't know how long this stuff will be around, but it could well be you're watching this 100 years from now, maybe 500 years, right? Exercise 2, we're on page 117. So I'm just going to talk through the exercises here, which is about 2 pages of exercise I'm going to talk through, and then you're going to do them in your own time over the next 24 hours. Just to let you know, I've completed all my exercises up until this stage now. I completed the rest of them today, so I'm up to date with my exercises. And I get so much out of them. I had a bit of a block on the last one. I didn't do it for a couple of days, and And then I sat down and I went, okay, I'm going to do it today. I gave myself an hour and I went through the exercises and really, I got so much from it. I really do. You know, when you actually sit down, you write everything down. You actually get a lot from it. So please do it and get the benefit. Exercise 2. How can I rethink something that frustrates me? Our actions, more than just our words, reveal our true highest values and our true decisions. If something in your life frustrates you and you have not yet acted to change it, consider how you can either act differently or link the frustrating circumstances to your highest values. This exercise will help you learn to do that. Step 1. What frustrates me? Instructions. Make a list of all the things that currently frustrate you. Don't worry about whether they are justifiable reasons for these problems or not. Simply list the frustrations. And you'd say, I'm frustrated by, and write that out, yeah? When you finish listing your frustrations, put a star by the 3 most frustrating situations. Step 2, consider the alternatives. For each of your top 3 frustrations, imagine 6 viable alternative actions. These don't have to be limited only to alternatives that you would actually choose. Just imagine what possible viable alternatives, actions you could take if you don't or didn't participate in the situation as you currently do. For example, if you have a demanding parent who requires help and visits that you find frustrating, your alternatives might include 1. Meet with this parent to discuss your frustrations and attempt to negotiate a reasonable solution with him or her. 2. Hire an aide for your parent, get another job, or work longer hours if necessary to afford it. 3. Organize reasonable and viable regular schedule for communication and visits and stop responding to the parent's random non-emergency calls. 4. Negotiate a limit, only 1 visit every 2 weeks. 5. Unilaterally implement a limit, only 1 visit every 2 weeks. You might not prefer some of these options. You might only realistically choose one of them. But it's important to identify any possible alternatives before simply rejecting a parent and remaining frustrated. Step 3. Choose to reject a viable alternative. Seriously consider whether you prefer any of the viable alternatives you have envisioned to your current situation. If so, list the 7 highest priority action steps you could take today to implement that alternative. If not, move to step 4. Step 4. Link your situation to your highest values. It tells that your current situation and your participation in it helps to fulfill your highest values. So you list those 10. Then next, if you see no realistic or viable alternative, then it is wise to keep repeatedly asking yourself, how specifically is my current situation helping me to fulfill my present highest values? By repeatedly linking benefit to apparent difficulties in this manner, you will reduce the intensity of your frustration. Okay, so that's the exercise. Let me just say this. You know, the exercises, they're not designed to be easy. They're designed to stretch you. They're designed to help you break through. They're not easy. But at the same time, they're not that hard when you actually start doing them. When you push yourself, you feel so much better for doing them. So don't think, oh, they're just those silly exercises, I'm not going to do it. Don't use any excuse or any justification. Just do them. You know, you'll get the benefit, right? Okay, so next part, getting honest about your destiny. So many people I work with are not willing to be honest about what their true highest values actually are. Instead, they inject what I call social idealisms or imperatives into their life. What they think their values should be, what the world expects their values to be, anything other than what their life actually demonstrates. This is self-defeating because proclaiming social idealisms instead of your true highest values simply sets up fantasies that cloud the issue and won't help you create an inspired or fulfilled life. Anytime you expect yourself to live outside your true highest values, you will set yourself up for the ABCDs of negativity. Aggression and anger with yourself, feelings of self-betrayal and self-blame, self-criticism, and feelings of self-challenge, self-deprecation, and depression. I see this in corporate mission statements frequently. Companies create and write these artificial statements that have nothing to do with their actual leaders' highest values or their true missions. They just lay out social idealisms for the sake of marketing. The problem is employees and customers can't rally around these mission statements because they don't really mean anything to people. You have to look at what you really truly value to lead a company. It is congruency that brings leadership. Many years ago, I worked with a gentleman who was the founder of a company. He had a nice mission statement that sounded great for marketing, but to me, it was just empty social idealisms. To build the #1 forestry and paper company in Australia that cares about the environment and the customer and sells or shares quality paper with people throughout the world. Then I asked him what drove him to build this company. How did he get started? He told me an amazing story about being a poor kid who couldn't even afford to buy his own pads of paper when he was in school. He had to fish paper out of the trash can so he would have something to write on. Years later, he had gone to found a paper company. His mission for creating paper and for making it affordable to other poor children had built a multi-million-dollar business. In other words, this man's mission was inspired by his highest values. Living in alignment with his highest values had given him the power to achieve his mission, the power of the values factor. But because this man preferred to fill his mission statement with empty words like trust, integrity, and service, words that sound great but don't really always express a person's true highest values, he was depriving both himself and his company of the power contained in his true highest values. When I conduct my 13-step value determination process with people around the world, integrity seldom shows up as an individual's highest value. Integrity is a state of being that automatically occurs when you set intentions and goals that match your true highest values. Integrity is not something you strive for, it's something you live with, something that emerges automatically when you live congruently with your highest values and when you awaken your natural born inner leader. Your values, as we have seen, are driven by your voids. They are an attempt to fill up what is perceived as missing or to solve what is perceived to be unknown. As Aristotle's teaching implied, your perceived emptiness drives your fulfillment. Your void drives your value. Yet a lot of social idealisms cloud the clarity of what is truly driving people. For instance, one of the social idealisms that is commonly injected and parroted is, it is more blessed to give than to receive. This religious idealism might initially sound nice, altruistic, and kind, but once you stop and actually investigate the statement a bit deeper, you can see that it is an unbalanced statement. If you are blessed by giving to another person, then that implies that they would be cursed by receiving, since they're receiving and not fairly giving back. Their receiving without giving could also rob them of accountability, responsibility, dignity, and productivity, and set them up for feelings of obligation and dependency. Wiser and more sustainable relationships demand fair exchanges, not giving something for nothing or receiving something for nothing, both of which result in incomplete and unfair transactions. When you live congruently with your true highest values, you are more likely to honor yourself and others equally and maintain fair and equitable exchanges, not initiate one-sided, incomplete transactions. Our truest nature is neither altruistic nor narcissistic. It is a perfect balance of both. Such social idealisms become even more distracting when they lead a person to subordinate their highest values to someone else's. If we see someone that seems more empowered than we are, we might subordinate ourselves to that other person, minimizing our highest values and adopting theirs. We tend to think that we should be somehow different from who we are. This clouds our minds and makes us self-defeat and beat ourselves up. It creates seemingly insolvable moral dilemmas, and all because we keep minimizing ourselves to our exaggerations of others. In the breakthrough experience, I show people that whatever they see in others is inside themselves. Yet if you are too humble to admit that what you see in others is inside you too, you will keep minimizing yourself. As I said in the movie The Secret, until the voice and the vision that you hold on the inside is louder than all the opinions and injections that you bring in from the outside, you are not going to master your life. Yet many times people just don't honor their magnificence and their own unique set of values. They don't recognize where they have the power in their life. As a result, they cloud their clarity. They don't feel inspired and fulfilled by their lives and their destiny. They just feel lost. The specific techniques that I teach in the Breakthrough Experience, particularly the Demartini method, can help with that. When you learn this approach in my seminar programs, you discover that you hold everything you admire in others within yourself, right here, right now. You don't need to keep minimizing yourself and subordinating your highest values to someone else's. You can claim your own highest values and live your own inspired destiny. You can achieve the same goal through applying the values factor. Once you focus on your highest values, you will feel the inner drive and inspiration you need to pursue your highest values and fulfill your destiny. That is the secret to an inspired and fulfilling life. There we have it for today. That's the end of chapter 4. We start with chapter 5 tomorrow, called Deepening Your Love. And that starts tomorrow. So some profound insights there. If that's your first time hearing that stuff, your head may be spinning a bit. It's just profound. It really is, you know. I think we're finishing up there for this evening. We've gone 30 minutes. I like to start to cap it at 30 minutes. And as of Wednesday, we're going to be changing our time from the evening to the morning. We're going to be doing early morning live calls. So we're going to be starting at, let's see, 5 a.m. London time. So check that out, 5 a.m. London time, wherever that is for you. That will mean for some people in the US that they'll be in the evening time, late at night, and for people in Europe it will be an early morning start. But what better way to start your day, huh? That's how I'm going to be starting my day, by doing it, rather than having it something that I have to, if I'm out and about, to get back to in the evening time, because it's affecting our family social time. We're always thinking about, we've got to get back home to do this, but I want to get everything done in the morning, so in the evening times we can go and meet with friends and things like that. So, you know, that's one reason I want to do it in the morning. Another reason is I just like to, I like to get out of bed early and do things. I think it's a really great thing to get some of your highest priority things done first thing in the morning. It really sets up the rest of your day, and it's a great sort of relief when you know you've done the biggest things first in the morning. And right now, this is one of the biggest things. I have a very relaxed lifestyle. I teach martial arts classes most mornings, and I shoot some videos, I write some blogs, and you know, do these and stuff like that. You know, it's pretty cool. So that's us for tonight. If you're not on my team, we're also going to be starting, that's the other thing I forgot to say, our team trainings, which are going to happen after each of these calls. There'll be another Hangout set up, so as soon as I come off this call, we're going to be setting that up to go on to the next call for all those that are in my team, and that's going to be for our inner circle, our 10K per month inner circle. That's going to be for. So if you're not part of our team, you can click the link below this, and you can join our team right now. And then you can join in those other trainings, which are just private trainings for our inner circle who are looking to create an income of 10K per month. And so if you haven't clicked the link yet, you can do that right now, fill in your details, and if you want to just get on my subscribers list, you can also put your details in there. You'll be on my list as well, and then you'll receive updates and cool Wednesday. We're going to be changing the time to to 5 a.m. London time every morning, and steps are, we've done so much, and so even after 18 days, you are, if you watch Terminator, you know what I mean. Okay, thanks for watching. This is Matthew Armstrong. See you again tomorrow. Share with your friends on Facebook, etc. Thank you.